On Saturday night, January 27th, 2018, NXT TakeOver Philadelphia was main evented by Johnny Gargano, who challenged Andrade Cien Almas with Zelina Vega by his side for the NXT Championship. The bout lasted over 30 minutes, 32 minutes and 19 seconds to be exact, and was possibly the best NXT match ever. I believe it was definitely the best wrestling match of this weekend, and definitely the best match of the year so far. NXT wise, better than the Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black, which I thought was match of the year last year, better than Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne at NXT TakeOver Chicago, and better than Sasha Banks versus Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 1. Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano. The match was crisp. The two guys, Johnny Gargano and El Ídolo Cien Almas, transitioned into every spot with such precision and accuracy. It reminded me of Dean Malenko versus Eddie Guerrero back in the day. Chris Benoit versus Booker T, and Ultimo Dragon versus Rey Mysterio. It was a throwback to those type of matches where there's a language barrier, but every transition worked because the guys are experts at what they do in the ring. Even in spots where you thought you knew what move was coming up, Andrade or Gargano would transition to a completely different move and make it look smooth. And this match told a story. Is Almas a worthy NXT champion? And Johnny Gargano's kind of had that long losing streak. Could he prove himself and to his fans that he really is Johnny Wrestling? And Johnny Gargano was playing the part of the underdog like Eddie Guerrero was when he fought Brock Lesnar, or even Daniel Bryan when he took on Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. And he was taking bumps and selling them like a beast. Within the first 7 minutes of this bout, Gargano took a nasty bump, a straight flat bump from the apron to the floor when he attempted to do a somersault plancha on Andrade Cien Almas. He completely pancaked out in front of his wife and new WWE signee Candice LeRae. In this bout, La Sombra proved he deserves to be and hold that NXT championship. When he first came in from CMLL in New Japan, he came in with a lot of hype, but his look, his appearance, the white pants with suspenders, a fedora hat, it didn't get over with the NXT crowd. Neither did his personality, which was that of a technical who panders to the crowd in order for them to cheer. He came in with a rather soft body. He just wasn't getting over, and he transitioned from that into a heel. Zelina became his manager, valet. He lost the fedora, lost the suspenders, and it looked like he started hitting the gym almost every day. He also changed his moveset to a more strong style heel set of moves. The double knees in the corner, the double stomp to a hanging opponent who's in the tree of woe, and his hammerlock DDT. Johnny Gargano is in even better shape than he was when he came in, which I think is impossible. The guy's like 1% body fat. His family was there. I don't think his dad was there. There was a lot of false finishes, a lot of high spots, a lot of brutal spots, especially when he was double kneed in the corner and then double kneed almost through the ring post by Almas. The two announcers made it very clear that Gargano's heart could only take him so far and his body was going to give out. At the end, with the interference of Zelina, Candice LeRae finally had enough. She jumped the barricade, chased her out, but to the surprise of the Philly crowd, it was a clean finish with a draping DDT. I believe it was the second one that Almas did that night on Gargano that finished the job. After that match, Cien Almas came out the following night, debuted on WWE TV as a surprise entrant at number 7 at the Royal Rumble, where he eliminated Kofi Kingston and lasted over 28 minutes when finally being eliminated by Randy Orton. The man who was almost written off as one of Triple H's failed experiments and almost forgotten in the NXT Shuffle, made one of the biggest impacts on this past jam-packed wrestling weekend. Even though I believe he's ready to go to the main roster, they shouldn't push him there quite yet. He might get lost in the shuffle, especially since there's a lot of new guys that just returned, like Rey Mysterio Jr. and the Hurricane. Almas is not a big guy. I believe he's built at 5'9", which really means he's only around 5'7". I see him still having unfinished business in NXT, possibly going into a feud with Aleister Black and perhaps one other person before he's pulled full-time to the main roster. Hopefully EC3, or maybe even Ricochet. And once he's on the main roster, if he's lucky, they won't just stick him in 205 Live right away. He proved himself this weekend as a champion that perhaps no longer needs a belt. He's also proved that all he needs is a time and a chance to have great matches, especially in front of hard crowds like the Philly crowd this past weekend.